So there's been a lot of conversation going on after the verdict of Rick Chow, who mowed down an innocent 14-year-old in Columbia, South Carolina, where he was accused of stealing water bottles, which he did not, right? Now, Rick and his son Andy chased him about 133 yards and, shot him in his back. Okay, so from that point, there's been a lot of conversation about boycotting Asian businesses because of the nature of the relationship between Asian businesses and the Black community. We know that they set up shop in our community, and oftentimes they don't treat us well, and sometimes they'll take our lives, right? Like the example of 1991 with Latasha Harlins and Sue Jadu, where she was the owner of the Empire Liquor Store there in South Central Los Angeles, and she took Latasha's life after accusing her of stealing orange juice, which was proven not to be true because the orange juice was put on the counter and the money was in Latasha's dead cold hands when they found her body there on the floor. Okay, so back to this conversation. Now, me personally, I am glad that we in the Black community are starting to have that conversation because, for one, we know that, again, they set up shop in our community. They do not pour back into the community. A lot of times they don't hire from the community, but I will say there are some that do hire. Okay, I just want to put that out there. So we also know that we give a lot of money to other people that do not look like us. So I'm happy that we are having that conversation. Now, if you need a little bit more encouragement, I want to put this on your mind. I've been using this example. Imagine, if you would, okay, that you as a Black person will go down to the Minnesota prison and put money on Derek Chauvin's books. Now, you probably is like, what? What are you talking about? Well, in a sense, wouldn't that be the same thing as going to an Asian store, right, that would harm Black folks? And listen, in the case of Rick Chow, that wasn't a one-off. He had a record of harming Black people. And listen, let's concede one thing. Yeah, there is theft that goes on in many stores, right? But should you take people's lives or, put bullets into them, which it is documented that he has done? I showed y'all a video where he was full on beating up a Black female teenager in the store as he had a weapon on his hip and a baton in his hand. I mean, they were moving product all over the store and he's jumping on this teenager, but yet Black folks continue to go in there. Now back to Derek Chauvin. And this is one other thing I want to show you before I continue. Here on the anniversary of George Floyd's death, because that's what Derek Chauvin did. He put a knee to George Floyd's neck for almost 10 minutes, right? Well, the Minnesota GOP decided to do this at their state convention. Check it out.
Body elected to have that moment of silence. We had maybe 10 seconds or so. There are a lot of people, I think, that believe that Derek Chauvin was improperly convicted and not treated well. And those people wanted to have a moment of silence and recognition because they felt that way.
Do you agree with them?
Well, I don't think I'm going to comment on that. I mean, the court system had its verdict, and I'm not going to challenge the court.
Did you like the fact that a convicted murderer had a moment of silence at your convention?
I don't think I should comment on that.
Why not?
Well, because that indicates whether I do or don't agree with something that came out of the court. So I think I'll just let that pass.
So as you saw and heard there, they were, giving a moment of silence. That was the chair explaining, well, yeah, it went on. Some people felt like he, wasn't treated fairly during the trial. It's like, well, how do you come to that conclusion? We all saw that he had his knee on George Floyd's neck and he wasn't bothered at all. So yes, it should be said that Derek Chauvin probably will not, leave that prison alive. And there are a lot of racists and people, in the GOP who do not like that. Okay, so back to my example and the question of, can you imagine as a Black person going to put money on Derek Chauvin's books? Really think about that. You going into these stores that harm Black people and giving them money? you might as well go up there and give Derek Chauvin some commissary money, so he can get the oodles and the noodles and the zuzus and the wham whams and all the stuff that they get up in the prison. You might as well go help him. Hey, I know what you did to George Floyd, but I want to support you. I know that sounds very stupid. I know it sounds very cringy, but it's the same thing. Because a lot of our people, we hear the stories of how a sister was hit over the head with a broomstick and, some of these nail salons or these beauty supplies over $2 eyelashes that they were accused of stealing but didn't actually steal. We hear oftentimes how black folks are locked up into these establishments and they want to dig all through their bag to prove to them that they're not stealing and, all kind of foolishness. And yet we still, when I say we, I mean collectively, go into those stores. We'll say, oh, I'm just going in there real quick. Like, well, you're still going in there and spend money. So while you're going into these stores that you full on know that they are harming black people, why don't you just go real quick and give Derek Chauvin some money? I know it sounds ridiculous, but to me, it's the same thing. Think about Rick Chow and Derek Chauvin. What do they have in common? They both took a black life unjustly. Okay? Derek Chauvin, he's paying for that, right? He's serving some time. But Rick Chow, he got away with it. He got away and the system told him that it was okay to chase somebody who was running from you. 133 yards, okay? Not a threat. They said that poor little kid ran up out of his shoes. He was so scared. Ran up out of his shoes, which I also heard that Rick Chow's wife picked up his cell phone in the shoes. It's like, what are you doing with that, right? He ran up out of his shoes to get away from Rick and his son, Andy, and he was found not guilty, Rick. So again, that doesn't sound like they own that particular gas station. Of the crime in question. Some say that they have other businesses. I guess that remains to be seen, right? But if you find out that he has other businesses, are you going to go give him some money? The sad reality is, yeah, there are some black folks that will go up in there knowing full well what he got away with and make excuses to do it. See, people like that shouldn't get another black dollar. So I hope that we are serious about boycotting. But again, would you go give Derek Chauvin some money, put him on his books? Well, if you said hell no, that should be your same answer for these businesses who harm our people and unapologetic about it. Yeah, they might say, oh, I'm sorry. No, you not. Because sorry would have meant that you wouldn't have chased that black boy out of that store in the first place, knowing full well that what you were going to do to him because you have done it to other people before. And yet black folks take themselves up in there and give them money. You reward them for the things that they do to us. That's what it is. It's a reward. And it's a, big F you, if you will, to your own people. So just want to put that on your mind. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra Kaye Show, here on YouTube. Peace.